Simba and I are live from the farm um, here in Chiang Mai, Thailand, from our Abundant Transformation Retreat Center. Today we will be hosting an energy medicine seminar, and we will deep dive into the practices of energy medicine and share what it actually is. It's kind of trending. It's very popular and it's highly beneficial. And we will start to share a little bit like what is it exactly, how do we use it, and what's the benefits here at the farm, here at Living with the Spirit. So, yeah, anything you want to say, Simba, before we get started?
Yeah, this is a nice topic that I've been working on quite a long time. I've been immersed in Western science and all of that sphere, and then also the Eastern modalities and bridging. So, this is a very nice seminar that is very holistic in its approach and not specifically biased. It's just what works, what's practical, and what can we implement to improve the health of our own life and other people, both for your own personal sake, but also professionally working with others.
Would you say that this is the method and the principle that we use here at Living with the Spirit, and that we have used for ourselves, and that we are using for the people that we work with?
It's one of the main modalities, definitely. Then we're not, I also want to highlight, we're not biased to a specific method. We are very practically aligned. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we
It does.
choose something else, right? We're not like, it has to work, we need to do this. So, yes, we do work with it, but we're flexible to following the organism, the person, from what they need, what their specific needs are, and what works for them.
Yeah, I would say that it's a philosophy more than a method, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. It's a way of looking at things for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, let's dive in. And I will remove this. Okay, energy medicine. Welcome to this seminar with me and Simba. We will be, this will be an hour, 60 to 75 minutes, we'll see. 75 minutes tops. If you have questions, put them in the chat for the people who are watching live, and we will do the questions at the end.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm looking forward.
All right, so welcome. And today we will go through the principles of energy medicine and how you can start to apply them practically in your everyday life. You will have an understanding of what it is, how it works, and how we use it. Okay. Do you want to get started, Simba?
I can get started. So, when it comes to energy medicine, anytime you say energy, there is a chance of losing people's attention because they feel it's not tangible. I don't understand this. This is woo woo. There's a lot of preconceived notions. So, in order to make this seminar catering a lot of different backgrounds and ideas, we wanted to present it in a quite neutral way. So the principle of energy medicine is that all symptoms that we have are caused by disruption in the energy system. And when we look at the primary symptom or imbalance, when we talk about energy system, we're talking about the electricity in the human body, specifically between the right and left hemisphere. When they are not talking to each other, organs, glands, muscles, everything else will start to get disrupted. They will come out of balance, hormones go down, we're more prone to diseases, immune system goes down, and all other things that we'll talk about in a little bit. So that is why we say all symptoms are caused by disruption in the energy system first. Restoring a balance to the energy system corrects these disruptions and When we restore the balance, we literally get the hemispheres to talk to each other. We get the nervous system calm and regulated, which has a ripple effect to everything else. So you might come to us with the sore shoulder or this liver or something that's out of balance, and I don't have this protein, and I'm deficient in this, whatever it is, that is a symptom of a deeper root cause. So when we restore this balance, the energy system corrects itself and the body will start to heal. That is why it works no matter what you have, right? But it's also important to realize that and trust the process and let the body do the work, because this takes different amount of time for each and every person. It might go fast for some, it might take more time for other people.
Yeah. Um, Thank you. Yeah, my summary is usually that if you're using the philosophy of energy medicine, then you never treat a symptom. You always treat that. So if you have any kind of symptom, it doesn't matter if it's a depression or um, pain in your leg or shoulder or gut issues. It doesn't really matter because uh, this indicates that there's a severe imbalance in the body, and you treat the body as a whole. And if you restore the balance, the symptom will go away. So, if we move on and talk a little bit more about this.
Yeah, so I kind of alluded a little bit and jumped a little bit ahead when I start talking, and that usually happens when there's slides. You're in a flow, you jump into another slide. I'll try to be a little bit more disciplined today. But energy medicine is essentially what I said, right? You correct the flow of electricity in the body, and that electricity is measurable, and that's in other cultures, that electricity is called chi, prana, or bioelectric energy. It is essentially life force, whatever sparks, what keeps you alive, the electricity in the cells, in the brain that gives energy. And everything has that. You know, a rock has that kind of electricity to a certain degree, a stone, every living organism at least has this energy. And when we work with energy medicine, we work with restoring the natural flow and balance of this electricity, this chi in the body, and specifically between the right and the left hemispheres. So the rest of the system, the body, the organs, the muscle, tendons, restore in back into balance. Once they do, your body will come out of a survival state or an imbalanced state, and it will start to heal and self correct itself. So we're kind of putting something back into balance, and it continues to rebalance and heal itself. But it might need a little bit of help coming back into balance because it might be very far off balance.
So, what does that mean? Now, because we're going into very specifics.
Yeah. So, what that really means is there can be many different ways of looking at energy medicine and what energy medicine does. But let's say, for instance, this is a simplification, right? Because we are using all parts in our brain, but at different capacity and at different times. So the old way of explaining it is you're left brain dominant or right brain dominant, right? Left being logic, creative, thinking, talking, all of these aspects, and right being more intuitive, artistic, creative, expression. So one being maybe a little bit more tangible, one being maybe a little bit more intangible. So if you look at society today, what's primed is going into the left sphere, right? And I know this is a simplification, so bear with me. When we do that, we start to prime something and almost discard certain parts of ourselves. bringing ourselves into the logic. We don't allow ourselves maybe to feel emotions. We don't allow ourselves to relax, ground the nervous system. Your body becomes out of balance because everything you have in your body is meant to be used. Otherwise, you wouldn't have it. So once we start to focus on one aspect and we don't take into consideration that you're a holistic being, every part of you is here for being used, your body will start to come out of balance, and definitely in the brain. And that will set your nervous system out of balance. And once your autonomic nervous system and central nervous system comes out of balance, which is the communication from your brain down to your body, everything will follow because the nervous system is connected to everything, right? Nervous system is connected to organs that produces hormones, enzymes, and so on to communicate to the body. So if this gets out of balance, the rest of the body will follow. But if this gets back into balance, the body will also follow and restore and start to heal the symptoms that we are displaying.
Yeah, so like a summary is usually we feel like we have a symptom and we try to heal the symptom. We are looking for the solution that will fix my problem. Instead, we understand that the body is a whole, like it's one unit. It's just not one problem. It's not like we have different production lines and we say like, oh, there's a problem in the left field production line, and then we just go and heal that specific mechanic. The body is always one unit, and if there is a symptom, then we need to deal with the body as a whole unit. There's something out of balance, and what energy medicine does is that it works with the imbalance on many different levels, and as a result the body will start to balance out the symptoms.
Yeah, another example is, let's say you have a skin with a lot of rashes, or you have skin problem. I can buy expensive skincare products and polish it up and make it nice, but the problem is still there because it comes from the inside. It's not from the outside, right? So that's really a way you can look at it too. Energy medicine really go to the root and work with the issues.
Yeah, I think the inside and the outside is a good it's a good
Analogy.
explanation. Yeah, analogy. All right, so what is the difference between Western medicine and energy medicine?
So when we talk about Western medicine, it's it's been around for a while, right? It really started from the Greeks, from Aristoteles and Hippocrates and Plato's, when there were philosophies, sirs, there were physicians, there were knowledgeable about the body, about the mind. Everything was kind of a little bit flowing into each other. And then Western medicine became very narrow in a field, right? Which has its good and probably downsides as well. But when we talk about Western medicine, we're talking about a practice that focusing on diagnosing and treating symptoms. You come to a doctor, what seems to be the problem? I do my check, I take blood samples if needed or other samples, and then I have a diagnose, and then there's a treatment protocol from that. But it attributes the disease to bacteria and viruses or traumas, right? If I fall down and break my arm, it has nothing to do with the bacteria. I broke my arm because something happened, an external trauma. And sometimes it's a focus, or many times it's a focus on your genetic disposition, how you are built up as a heritage from your parents, and the exposure to pathogen as an explanation for why you get diseases, right? So your genetics kind of sets up the play field for you, and the pathogens affect you in becoming sick or healthy. And it relies heavily on pharmaceutical treatments to correct imbalances and eradicate pathogens, and also surgery at times when we actually go into the body and fix something, remove something, splint something. So that's what we mean when we talk about Western medicine. So if you go to a hospital today, most likely it will be Western medicine that will be practiced for you.
And just to be clear, that we are not saying that everything should be treated with energy medicine instead of Western medicine. Absolutely not. There's a time and a place for everything. And even though you are in care of Western medicine, you still can practice energy medicine because the energy medicine is strengthening the whole body. It's strengthening all the organs, all the immune system, the lymphatic system, the chi, the it's all of it. So it's a great combination to use. So you just have to know when to use what.
Exactly. Very good. And when we look at Eastern medicine, or we live in Thailand, so Eastern is not East for us. We're here. We can say Oriental medicine too, right? Depending on where you live in the world. That's usually Vedic, yogi, traditional Chinese medicine, natural medicine. We're talking about a different set of system that diagnose and treats the body based on the body signals and holistic assessments. That means I don't simply do a blood test. I don't simply ask you some question, what's wrong? I might ask you, how's your life in general? How's your nutrition? How's your sleep? How's the relationship with your family? How do you like your work? I will make a holistic assessment. I will look into all different areas of your life to see where are you out of balance, where are you leaking energy that will lead your body to be out of balance and then can move forward into a disease, which is an expression of an imbalance. It helps to balance the hemispheres, like I said, in the brain. It helps to balance the nervous system so communication signals can go down to the body and come up to the body. The organs and glands can produce hormones and enzymes that could be building up the body or breaking down old, damaged tissue parts, any kind of signals that the body wants to produce, right? Testosterone, estrogen, any signal is a hormone. It's something that the body wants to send out to a large area. And what Eastern or Oriental medicine does, it addresses the root cause. And the root cause are usually emotions, can be thoughts, traumas, or environmental effects. And I don't just mean pollution, I mean something that happened. It was a toxic environment where I grew up because people were angry, throwing things at each other, being nasty because there was trauma, there was fear, there was not a safe environment. That's an environmental effect. And I really like what you said, Sarah. It's not that we say just use this, don't use the Western. There is a use for both of these medicine. Personally, when I look at Western medicine, I say it's an excellent acute measurement. You break your bone, something happens acutely to you, you're losing blood, you get a very serious infection that's going quickly through the system. Western medicine is great for that. But what happens if you look at this like a range? Is the Western medicine is more in this range for me. What happens in the rest of this range? I can't go from this area to here straight away because I'm not maybe at that level yet. And that's where the holistic and Eastern medicine comes in. It becomes more comprehensive. We can choose where we go depending on what we feel. So as soon as I feel something doesn't mean that it's acute and I need to go to a Western hospital. That's just a personal opinion.
Yeah, and a lot of the the symptoms that we see in people is also lifestyle created, and it can also be genetic.
For sure, for sure.
So the benefits of practice energy medicine is not to, as we say, it's not to exclude the Western medicine, but it's to work on your overall general health, like your lifestyle, going to the root cause of the health issues, and rebalancing the body in a deep way instead of just masking or treating a symptom. and it's easily accessible at all times, and it's available to everyone, and it's something that you can have. It's a philosophy that you have. It's a mindset. It's a way of life, that you can implement this into your way of living, and then always have an abundance of energy and life force in your body.
I agree, definitely. It's very good standalone, but it's really good adjunct. It works great complementary to other ways, practices, fears, therapies, and ways of navigating health and life in general.
So, what is the root cause of disease?
That's a good question. So the term, when you have the I think it's called hyphen, right? Between this and ease, is coined by oh, slipping her mind now. It will come back to me. Anyways, it's a way of this eases what happened, right? This ease whatever you have as an expression of what's going on the inside, the root cause. The disease will ease the root cause, which means if you have a lot of unprocessed emotions, negative thoughts, traumas, or limiting conditioning belief system that is bringing your energy down, that's wearing you down, wearing your mind down, your whole body will respond to that and start to produce hormones that breaks the body down. And the disease will work like a shock to the system to get the body and the brain out of that uh, negative spiral. So it will be an expression that comes in to stop what's going on or to highlight that something's going on that could potentially damage us very, very deeply. And that can go on to actually being deeper illnesses if it's prolonged. And it can be environmental effects, as I mentioned, growing up, but it can also be current ones. So everything is not just what happened in the past and traumas. It can be what's going on in your life right now and what am I not dealing with. So I'm not saying everything is trauma. A lot can be what is it that I'm actually not dealing with and engaging in today's society. And of course, it's imbalances in brain organs and the different body systems.
Yeah, and it's like in Ayurveda. It's they talk about. So we talk about digestion, and in the West, when we say digestion, we only think about the food. But in Ayurveda, they talk about the digestive fire, and it's as your ability or the body's ability to digest life in general, and that means the events that you go through, the lifestyle that you have, the thoughts that you have, the stress that you go through, all of it. It's like your complete body's ability to digest life. And if we don't have the ability to digest everything that we go through and process it, and if you think of it as a fire, it dissolves, it leaves, it doesn't stay there. It gets burned. It it becomes something else. And as Simba said in the beginning, it's everything is energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. So through the digestive fire and through our ability to digest whatever we put in our mouth, whatever we consume, um, it will have an impact on our health. And if we don't have this strong digestive fire, and we're not able to digest what is going on in our lives, this energy will stay in the body and create these imbalances.
Yeah, 100% ability to process an event, emotion, a trauma, and to come out of it feeling empowered and that you're able to make choices and it's not affecting your way of life or your choices. It's a part of the digestion in both Vedic Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine. So digestion, like you said, is everything, all your experiences, the processes, and of course what actually enters the mouth.
Yeah, or the skin, or everything in the body. And
Yes.
what we don't talk about enough here, I would say, is the lifestyle. Um, that the people's lifestyle is causing massive issues. I would say that it's probably one of the biggest reasons to what we see in health problems nowadays.
And that kind of brings it back to East and Western medicine. Where are you at, right? Where do you come in the spectrum when there is a imbalance? Like, for instance, I would never go to a hospital if I have a headache. I would drink water, I would sleep, I would work with a lot of things. But if I have a broken bone and, I'm bleeding and yeah, I will go to hospital. Again, that's a personal preference, but it's knowing where to go for what reason, right? So if you go to a certain instance, you will know what kind of tools they're equipped to work with you. Then we can't really be angry and blame them for not doing what they're not doing, right? I can't really go to a lunch restaurant and want them to wash my car. It makes no sense, right? You have to go to the right instance, and that's the education you have, but knowing what options do I have, what other options do I have to work on my health.
Okay, so how do we work with energy medicine here at Living with the Spirit? And so we will share how we work with it and give you examples of how you can work with it. So everything that we do is something that everyone can do. And we also will give some examples of the different tools and modalities that we use that is within the energy medicine sphere, so to speak, that is supporting this. Um, these healing mechanisms. So what we do in this field is that we work with the body's self-healing mechanisms. So we create an environment where we activate all the different self-healing mechanisms in the body. We It's like you go into a cockpit and it's everything is dark and dead, and then you start to turn all these flips and switches on and things start to light up like that's what we do with the body. We turn everything on, turning back. It's like we go back online. And a huge part of this is regulating the autonomic nervous system. We have That's one of the main practices that we, or philosophies that we work with. A huge part is also the somatic practices to release the stored stress and emotions that Simba mentioned previously. That is a massive part um, of the issues that we see today. And this is where you can also say that we light the digestive fire. We work on lighting that fire. We also regulate the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is highly involved with most of the grounding and the healing and the nervous system activation that we see, and many different other functions as well. We restore the blood and cardiovascular system functionalities. As we said, we turn everything back online. Support the lymphatic system and the elimination systems, making sure that the kidneys are doing fine so they can eliminate properly. We balance out any other organs that needs a boost. And we do a lot of the chi dynamic practices. And what would you say chi dynamics is, Simba?
Yeah, we're going to go into that soon. I just wanted to highlight one thing. I really like all the points you mentioned. First time when I heard self-healing mechanism, it was like healing was a little bit foreign for me as well. So one way you can look at it is that the body is always looking for balance in a state called osmosis. What happens on the inside balances from the outside and vice versa. This happens all the way down on a cellular level. The body always wants to have a balance. It knows the ratio that it works and feels good with, and it's looking for a balance.
Is
And
it
once
homeostasis?
Yeah, it's homeostasis is the balance state, and osmosis is usually the what happens between inside a cell and outside of a cell. But it wants to balance, right? So homeostasis is a better word, definitely, for this state of being. So once you have a lifestyle that is supporting this, your body will start to balance itself out, aka healing itself. So the body knows what to do. Our job is not to get in the way, and that's what the lifestyle does, right? That doesn't mean you have to live in the same way that everyone else does, but it means knowing how you can take care of your health in a natural way in your day to day life, and what it is that you might be doing in your everyday life that impedes, limits, blocks the body's natural self healing or mechanisms to come back to homeostasis.
Thank you for clarifying that.
I think we have a slide on chi dynamics, right?
Yes, it's here under techniques and practices.
Okay, and I'll explain what that is. So, chi dynamics is a collective word that we borrowed that is really how do we work with this electricity? How do we work with this energy? How do we work to heal the body and restore this energy field that is produced in every cell and that exists in every cell, that is essentially life force, right? And just to look at it, the basic fundament of energy is that you can never destroy energy. You can shape it in shape and form, so you can change it, but you cannot destroy it. So with these different practices, we are allowing it to be shaped in a module in different way, which helps the body to come back into balance. So the first step usually is detoxifications. And when we talk about detoxification, we are talking about getting rid of toxins from the body. That can be on a physical level, that can be on an emotional level, mental level, energetical level. It can be in your organs, in your cells. It can be any kind of toxin that you have in your body that is creating a negative state and bringing your life force down, because there will be a considerate amount of energy trying to keep this at bay and push it away. And that's where we are out of balance many times. We are fighting against a imbalanced chemistry. It's kind of like, to produce a positive thoughts, you have to have a certain chemistry in your body. If your body's full of toxin, it's not even able to create these thoughts because it's working so hard to get rid of all the um, I don't like to say too much negative and positive, but I will use it for sake of simplicity and reference, the negative stuff that is pushing us down. And we use healthy nutrition, herbs, and different protocols to clear the body out to kind of get this process going so we can get rid of these toxins. A lot of it comes down to lifestyle, that Sarah said. That is your daily routines and practice. When you wake up, when you go to bed, what you do during your day. Do you sit down all day? Do you stand up all the day? Do you do exercise? Do you engage in some meditation, some nervous system regulation? What do you do? Your daily practices will be a result in your health, right? What you do throughout your day, your lifestyle will produce the result of your health. And there is no blame, shame, or guilt in that. That's just a pure fact. The way you live your life will lead to your health results, wherever they might be, positive or negative. Emotional freedom techniques, which we usually call EFT, short for, is a way to really balance this system, right? It's a way to work with emotions, thoughts, physical sensations, but it's a way of rebalancing that energy. So, for instance, if you're in a more stressed survival state, the primal parts of your brain that's dealing with more survival will be very much engaged, and you won't be able to access the higher centers, which allows you to take different decisions and think and create everything that we can do when we're in a balanced state. So the emotional freedom techniques helps to restore this balance in your body. It allows your body to have a different option. Whenever I'm in a stressed situation, I might eat something, say something, be angry, punch something, run away. It gives you a space so you have more options to do something else. And that's similar to many of the other techniques. The visionary craniosacral work is a work to really get to know your own body, to get to know your own mind, to get to really connect with all parts of yourself on a very deep level and allow the body to heal, right? The body will really start to heal in this modality. And it's a hands on modality. And we practice working practitioner to client receiving a session. And it allows the body to be grounded enough to start to correct itself. The TRE, tension and trauma release exercises, allows the body's natural shaking mechanism to restore balance back into the system. It starts to let go of all those stressful responses that are stored in the nervous system, in the muscles, in the glands. And it's another way of just releasing all of that tension and stress and energy. And we talk about chi dynamics in general, it's a multiple plethora of exercises. We have the lymphatic massage that we use to clear out the lymphatic system. It's a fluid based system that clears out toxic in the body, and you can massage it to get it going so it can be better at detoxifying the body. The Chinisang works with the stomach and the organs to really get the digestion going, getting the organs going, start to restore the energy, the balance, tightness that we might have around our organs. But then it also allows us to connect to emotions, to thoughts that we might have hold stored, because every time I have a strong, overwhelming emotion that I can't express, I might hold my breath and tense down my body. So then with this massage, we start to open that up so that energy, those emotions, those tension can move away. And then your physical organs will also feel better from that. We have transformational breath work, bringing oxygen in and out of every cell of your body for the very same reason. When you're in a state where you're stressed and you feel like you cannot handle a situation, one of the first measurements of trying to control a situation is to hold your breath and tie it down. Once the event has passed, it doesn't mean that we will start to resume a natural breathing. I might still hold on a little bit to that breath. And then you can imagine how many events we probably had like this in life. So with the transformational breath work, we can breathe into these areas and expand the body, which means we can get all of this stagnation of energy, fluids, toxins to move, to transport out of the body in a natural way. We use acupunctures in the ears to stimulate the organs and to really get the circulation going in the body. And we also use a lot of herbal remedies and nutritional protocols that we eat healthy. Of course, meditation, mindfulness, ice bath and herbal steam sauna, hot and cold, to kind of balance the body from one polarity to another, that you get circulation going, you stop circulation. Basically kind of pumping the body, getting everything going. And then we work with cranial relaxation techniques. It's a way of rebalancing the hemispheres in the brain. And this is a fraction of the tools we mentioned. I mentioned them here just to give you an idea of how we can use a lot of the tools that you've probably seen that we talk about in different videos or on our website. So you can kind of just have an idea for how we use these tools to work with energy medicine to heal other people's body, mind, and spirit.
Yes, and some of these are only available at the retreats. So there's all the hands-on stuff is only available at the retreats, and the retreat is also it's like the lifestyle, it's the cocoon, it's the self-healing space that just activates everything at the same time, where you go for when you have something quite specific that you want to work with. It's like I've done the group program, I'm doing the mentorship, I'm doing, the group and the mentorship is more like the lifestyle, do it at home, implement everything in your life. And then when you have something very specific that you need to work on that you might not be able to do in your own environment, then it would be beneficial to go somewhere. So that's the it's like the it's the online and offline version. So not everything is possible to do online, but a lot of things are, and you can implement it in your life, in your home environment. And yeah, and some things you need to go a little bit deeper on.
Yeah, definitely. And what I would say the difference between retreats and online is the mirroring. When you come to retreat, you really get a deeper experience of everything and you become mirrored because whatever you bring into the retreat is what you work with, right? It's an empty space that will allow you to see really what's going on inside of you because we might be very distracted by the environments and memories and the way we relate to things where we're at. So sometimes we need to leave that space to experience ourselves, our emotions and thoughts and sensation in a different way, to kind of have that space to explore and make new choices, right? So it's a way of really reshaping yourself and having profound insights to yourself that can lead to wonderful results, feeling better, more relaxed, sleeping better, better relationships, abundance that I can allow myself to receive, love, money, health, and also your physical health, right? That your body will actually be feeling much more healthy and vibrant, which helps you in anything you want to do, any endeavor in your body in your life will need a healthy body to move forward.
Yeah, so some of the things that we see that energy medicine is contributing with in ourselves and in others is that the healing process is speeding up. Even though you're doing a combination with Western treatment or home remedy treatments or whatever you're into, uh, combining the energy medicine is it's just it's just speeding up the overall healing process. And as Simba said, everything in the energy medicine you can do in your own space, but sometimes there's a saying within the addiction community that is really profound, that is like sometimes you cannot heal in the environment where you're not feeling good. So then sometimes you have to go away to take a break, or to get out of whatever it is that's going on. But even though you include the energy medicine in your home, the healing process will go faster, and we see the relief and the release from chronic pain, stress, autoimmune conditions, and trauma and conditions beliefs. All the things that we mentioned in the beginning that is getting stuck in the system and that is draining our life force and creating this imbalance in our bodies. And we also see an increased spiritual and energetic awareness. Uh, this could be the relationship to self, to the environment, to nature, to having a profound spiritual awakening, or just understanding how everything is connected and how does it work. And usually, here when people come to the farm, it's like going back to school. It's just so much information. You just learn so much about how everything is connected. And it's like, yeah, it's like having a completely different new life experience. And I mean, overall transformative changes to health and well-being is is inevitable, I would say, if you dive into the energy medicine world. And we also see increased happiness and stronger relationships, both to the self and to others. Um, it's so, how to say, it's like, it's so rewarding to work with this and just to see people starting coming back to life and starting to turn everything on and healing and moving forward in any relationship in life. Like it could be work, it could be family stuff, it could be anything. It just clears up a lot. And also, least but not last, like the relationship to the self, to self love, confidence, intuition, and just general connection, and becoming more back to the body.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm kind of looking at it like this. Like many times we make choices in life and we wind up on a trajectory that leads us to where we're at. And what I've heard from a lot of people that come to the farm is like, wow, I actually get a time to sit down and look at those choices and explore them, not just mentally, but emotionally, somatically. I get a chance to look at why am I making the choices I'm making? Why am I living the lifestyle I'm living? Where does it come from? Not that you have to understand the history, but realize many times that's not a choice that you made. You inherited that from your environment. You were prompted that from your environment. So it's a way to really stop and go, what would I like to do moving forward? And it's a unique opportunity because how many of us actually get an opportunity like that? You know, life piles on and bills and kids and responsibilities, and there's no opportunity many times, right? Because I'm just in this cycle of things happening. So this is really like jumping out of that cycle and have an honest look. What's going on? What is it that I actually want to do? What can I stop doing? How can I change? So I'm actually moving towards where I want to really go, where my heart is calling me to go. And that's really one of the main thing I see as well when people come to the retreat. That people say, oh, I had this great experience, I changed all of these things in my life. Yeah, because I came down to a place where I can actually look at what is it that I'm doing and how can I consciously make a different choices to change my values, look at life differently so I can have this remarkable results and transformational shifts. I get the time and the space and a different set of experiences in a safe space where I'm, held and cared for and supported in a lot of different ways. And that I would say is definitely why we choose to do a center, right? Because whenever we experienced fractions of that in different instances that we went to, it really helped us to realize, wow, energy medicine, working with the nervous system, having a space to cultivate all of these practices, it's so healing. It is so healing, right?
I
It's
mean, that's why it's our home.
yeah,
That's why we didn't just make a center and go to the center every day. We decided to make the center our home because it's the I mean, the goal is to create an abundant lifestyle, and we invite people to share that, because everything that we do here is just to activate more and more abundance and more energy medicine, like all the body self-healing mechanism. And so we create a little world where that's the main focus. And that also brings us into finding one's true soul purpose. And that is our true soul purpose, to build that and share that. So we also help people find their own, because if you're not super aligned with why am I here, and what what am I doing, then it might be, sometimes it's difficult for people to be truly happy, because they're not sure what their path is.
yeah, and that's really the name, living with the spirit. You learn to follow your own spirit, gut intuition, whatever it is that drives you forward. That's higher than just your thinking mind and the consequences of where you were born and what you were told and what you expect, what's expected of you to do. You're actually driving from an internal source that's rich and has all the answers. And Our purpose is really to teach people how to heal themselves so they can heal others. If that is professionally as being a healer, maybe not. But just by you healing yourself and you're living in life in harmony and you feel good about yourself, you're going to heal everyone around you. Doesn't
Mm.
matter what you do for a living. The fact
Yeah.
that you feeling good and taking care of yourself, you will be a healer because you
Yeah.
will heal people around you by taking care of yourself. And it's really, that's how we're really wired, people to people. We're constantly in a fluctuating communication, nervous system to nervous system. Without me even talking, there's a communication between you who's watching me and Sarah. And that's really, the better you feel, the better you will make other people feel just by being yourself. And you give other people permission to be themselves and not just try to be someone else. And that's really, in essence, when we look at energy medicine, a lot of the practices we do really come back into the center and heal from the core and live from there, rather than living from the layers that we have on top of that we might think is ourselves, until we realize, no, it's not ourselves, because it's just weighing me down. It's just making me heavy, tired, and not happy, and sluggish and out of balance.
Yeah, and the people that we specialize in is the people who want to either heal themselves very deeply and also, and by doing that, having a positive contribution to their surroundings, to their environment, and then also the people who want to become healers or want to deepen their practice as healers. So, yeah, about to round up here, but how to start practicing energy medicine? Like, how do we start? So, what do we do with people, Simba?
So, a big or simple way to start energy practice is definitely with EFT, emotional freedom techniques, and with grounding, right? So, those I would say is the two main areas. The EFT, also known as tapping, it's a very direct, practical way of changing that chemistry in your body, which allows you to feel it. And that's a big part of working with energy medicine. Once you start to feel it, you get motivated to do more. If you don't feel something, someone says, "Oh, I can feel this thing's happening in you," and you don't feel anything, you won't really be motivated to continue. And the EFT is very instant, right? It works very fast. The grounding, connecting to yourself, relaxing, it's also usually very fast, and you will feel a direct effect of it, which means you will start to heal and you will notice tangible results which prime you to move forward. So the tapping is, you can just start. I have videos with that. It's tapping on different parts of your body. There's a certain set of sequences that you tap on throughout the entire body. And you can start doing that daily, and you will start to notice a difference, more relaxation, less tension, usually better sleep, can be better stress tolerance, better awareness of your breath. Am I holding my breath? Or am I relaxing and being present? Your presence is a big one. Am I here, or am I drifting away in thoughts, what I'm going to do later? Or can I actually be here, connecting to someone? Can actually listen to what someone has to say and not just think about what I'm going to say next? Can actually be there and receive what that person is saying and then respond. So those are the kind of things you can notice fast with energy medicine and grounding when you start to apply them. But you can't do it once and expect a result, right? And that's where the lifestyle comes in. It needs to be done continuously, right? It's a choice to do it a little bit every day, right? A couple of minutes here and there, and you will start to notice a shift. And we have a lot of videos on how to practice EFT and how to get going on your own to feel the shift, right? And once you feel the shift, yeah, people usually get hooked. They usually get very, very passionate about trying it, because who doesn't want to feel better? We all want to feel better. We all want to feel more relaxed. We all want to feel that we're getting what we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that EFT is the one of the most beneficial. It's so easy, it's so available, and it's such a magical tool that gives instant change. I would also start looking into my lifestyle and see like where am I spending energy and where am I cultivating energy, and start to educate myself um, about how does it work, how are things affecting me. And like a seminar like this, you get a lot of information, and since you're already here, you kind of know how it works a little bit, but then it's like implementing more and more and deep diving, having the making yourself like a hobby. It's like be interested in yourself and find out what am I doing, how can I improve everything, what can I implement, and how can I make this fit in my lifestyle, because it is the lifestyle that is gonna get you either up towards something or down and away from something. So, with all the inspiration that we have given here today, like where can I implement these practices in my life? What do I need to do to get where I want to go? Am I investing in myself? Moving forward? Am I holding back somewhere? What am I doing? And making conscious decisions for oneself to to really look inwards and see what is it that I want to do? What is it that I want with this life? And then realizing that it's possible and that you can just increase and increase and, and have what you want. And you can have so much more than you probably already have.
Yeah. Making choices. What do I choose to do? What are the choices I make and moving forward? And I mean, there's many different ways of doing it. Like I usually say a very simple way if you're like, oh, I don't want to go in and check out the EFT videos and such. Okay, just start by this. What are you saying yes and no to in your life? Just take a pause whenever you say yes and no in your life, whatever it is, even for yourself. I'm gonna stay up a little bit longer and watch this series that I've seen 3 times, or I'm gonna go to bed so I have a little bit more energy. Whatever it is, no judgment, right? I just make a fun remark. But what is it? What do I say yes to and what do I say no to? What do I allow energy to flow in? What do I say no, that energy won't go out? That's a part of energy work too. That's a very tangible part of energy work. And if you get stuck in that, we're more than happy to help you. We have a lot of different online programs and mentorships that we can do to kind of help you move forward. If you're watching this, you're probably in one of them already. If you're seeing this and you're not, then we have a lot of different ways of working online to help you get these habits going in your lifestyle practice, which will definitely make your life feel better and more balanced.
Yeah, and that's why we in the group program have so many somatic modalities, because you really need to change the chemistry in the body. Like the breath work is cleaning out the nervous system and the unprocessed emotions and the memories, going really deep, like really changing the chemistry in the body, and together with the TRE, that's a massive uh, way of moving forward. And then adding on the knowledge and the private sessions to really deep dive into what's going on, and being like really deep and honest with, okay, this is what I'm up to. We're all up to different things. There's no judgment in it. It's just moving forward and overcoming whatever it is that holding us back. So more energy medicine to the people.
Yay.
Yeah. So do you have anything else that you would like to add, Simba?
No, I feel pretty empty. That was a lot. That was a handful. So, you might want to check the video again. And sometimes we pack a lot of energy. We're passionate about this. We have a lot of energy that we want to get across. So if you don't get it all, that's fine. This is something that has taken us a year to cultivate and practice and learn, and then learn how to teach. So this is a video you can probably come back to and get some inspiration and Why am I doing this? Oh, this is not working. Okay, come back, look at the video. Okay, okay, it's a process. I'm in a process. Okay, we'll go up, it will go down. So, this is a sort of video we wanted to make for people to be able to come back to and see over and over again, and then something new will probably stick every time you see it, and something new will kind of stay with you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, no questions so far. So for all the people in our groups, we will be discussing this more, and looking forward to hear your reflections. And yeah, thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
Lots of love to everyone.
Take care. Bye
Ciao.
bye.